Why feast or famine? What's this thing about feast or famine? As they say, when you go to write the book will write you. That is the journey that I have definitely been on over the past year. And when I really look at it, it's the journey I've definitely been on for the past decade or so. But especially over this past year when I first wrote and developed my entire Feast or Famine No More course. And it really took me there to the next level when I set out to do that. And it's still taken me there. And I love that. And it's also really hard sometimes. But this Feast or Famine thing is a cycle that so many people have in their lives. And it applies to so many areas of your life. So it's not just money and it's not just food. It's everything. It's everything. And because what it is there's a hunger, which is a wanting. That can be not just physical hunger. That's a hunger, a wanting, a needing, some kind of want, need, hunger, not necessarily actual hunger, but also hunger. And then the eventual satiating of that hunger. However bad you may hold yourself back from it, however you may not allow yourself to be fed in all the ways that we allow or disallow ourselves to be fed in all the ways, not just the food ways, but all the ways, in the love ways, in the money ways, in the provision ways, in the getting our needs and wants met, in having ourselves be heard and seen. There's all kinds of things that go in that realm. So there's the hunger. Then there's getting the hunger or the need or the want met. There's the satiation. You will then allow that in because you're so hungry for it. Then you allow that in, and then you almost immediately feel guilt and shame for allowing that in, for having that, and all these messages about what you are and what you are not allowed to have, who you are and who you are not allowed to be, what you are and what you are not allowed to want, all come up. Guilt and shame hit, and then you need to purge the food, purge the money, purge the love, purge the intimacy, purge the getting your needs met. You push it back out because you feel guilt and shame for letting it in. And then the cycle repeats. Then you're hungry all over again. And then the cycle repeats. And I've been doing this my whole life. My whole life. As you know, if you know me, if you have followed me for any amount of time, you know that I did this with food, specifically through bulimia. And the reason why I talk so openly about that, and a lot of people would be ashamed and embarrassed to talk about that, I'm not anymore. There's a time that I never could have imagined in a million years sharing that information and talking about that, like information, and thinking what people are thinking of me and wondering about me and all these things. But here I am talking about that. I'm not embarrassed about that, because if my pain helps you with your pain even a little, it is so worth it to me to share that, no matter how vulnerable that might be for me. And it feels less and less vulnerable, of course, the more I talk about it and the more I de-shame this. So I have done this with food, and I have done this with money, and I have done this with love. I've done this in relationships. I have done this with everything. So it is a pattern in my life. And I know I'm not the only one. I know that so many people struggle with this feast or famine pattern in so many different areas and so many ways. And so that is the cycle that I address in my course. That is the cycle that we are working on healing. And it is not a one and done thing. It is not oh, I recognize that's going on and I'm just going to knock that off now. No, no, it is a work in progress. It is a practice, because You have trained yourself in that since you were a child. You have trained yourself in wanting, having, rejecting. I'm not allowed to have that. Since you were a child. So it takes time and unlearning, and it's all wrapped up in a lot of deep stuff, which requires a lot of real care. And so that is the gift I want to bring to the world. That is what I'm really passionate about sharing and helping people to overcome, as I am working on that myself. And I have come so far, and it is still a work in progress for me too. But I plan to share every single gem along the journey that I can to help us all come out of that feast or famine cycle, come out of that wanting, receiving, pushing out what we get because we are not allowed, we are not worthy, we cannot have that. It does not fit for us. It's not the right thing. It makes us this, that, or the other. There's so much rich, good, beautiful stuff there to be discovered and to be healed. And so I am really passionate about sharing that, and I hope that you will come into my full Feast or Famine No More course and experience some of that healing for yourself and explore the areas in your life that this is affecting. And then when you start to heal that, amazing, miraculous things happen in your life, happen in your relationships, happen with your money, happen with your business, happen with your client relationships, happen with your food, happen with your relationship with your body, happen with your friendships. It's just as it affects every area now, the healing affects every area when you do it. So it's something that just unfolds and unfolds and unfolds, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's a hard thing, and it's a tender thing, and I hope that I get to share some of that with you in my course if you should decide to join me in it. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about why Feast or Famine No More, why that particular pattern, what does that mean exactly, and explain that a little more for those of you who were wondering or who weren't sure. So let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what your experience has been with the Feast or Famine pattern, the boom or bust pattern in your life. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you. I'll see you next week.